guys, welcome to my little urban homestead and welcome to Fabric Friday. A while ago I showed you the silver Viscount embroidery machine I've got, and this is what we embroidered out at the time, and I thought of making a cushion cover similar to this. It's like a 3D one because it stands out, and using this in the middle. But I don't want to do that because people who haven't got an embroidery machine can't feel that they can't make it. So I'm going to make it, but with the middle bit I'm going to have this fabric I've got here, which there's trees on it, people on it, a house, plants, there's more people there. I'm going to find a bit and fussy cut it out so it will go in there. And with this being sort of blue, I pulled some other things out that I think will go with this. This is showing you how I go about choosing fabrics to go together with patchwork. I pulled out some more things from my little stash of odds and ends, and there's a fat quarter bundle as well here, which I don't use fat quarters normally at all, but there's a fat quarter bundle, and I'm just now thinking, because I need, this is the centre bit, I need a background colour and two other colours. So these are what I've decided on. That for the background, that for this for the middle bit here. This will be the background where I've done black on this one. This will be for one of the turned in woodlands, and the blue will be for around the middle and that dark blue line. So I'm going to cut them out now. When I've done that, I'll show you. I've now cut some strips out, well, strips, squares and everything else. There's 4 5.5-inch squares out of the background fabric, 1.5-inch strips that are 5.5 inches long and 6.5 inches long. We have a 10-inch by 10-inch square of the darker, and 4 4.75-inch squares. Now you get your 4.75-inch squares, take one of your backgrounds, let's move some of these out of the way, whatever colour you're using for the background, fold your square in half diagonally, put the 2 corners down the bottom, get one of your 5.5-inch strips, sew it down there on all 4 pieces, and I'll do them now. So there are the 4, and you can see that they're in there now. You take your 6.5-inch strip and sew that across the bottom of it. These are the blocks now, 4 of them, and this is how they will go together. But we want to put this 10-inch square in them. So we fold the 10-inch square exactly in half lengthwise. So there it is lengthwise, and we put it against what will be the bottom corner, possibly see that, and we'll put that over the top of it, and we will sew all the way down there. There you are. You can see it's now sewn in between there. Now these two are going to go on there, but you need to sew them either side of this. So get the corners again, and put it there, and the other one will go that's it. You do get really twisted around on this because it's very awkward. You have to twist it, and let's just put a clip in there. So it's now, I can now level it all up. We will sew all the way down there. And this is what it will look like, which is looks very awkward. But there's the top and there's the bottom, and you can see that this wants to go there. Yeah, it's wanting to go that way. So what you do is you get the top and the bottom. I find it easier to actually put a clip on that corner, open my seams out. I'll get my finger in there. I open them up, but I put the dark blue to one side. So on this one, I want the dark blue to the other side so that they'll nest really well together. Get a pen and put it exactly through your seam in the middle. Now you can see how it's going, and it's starting to want to do what it's supposed to do. Now we know exactly that we've got it right. We'll turn it back again, find our pin that holds the middle, and got another clip ready. And pull it straight. And again, straight again. Ignore this piece. It's looking more or less right, but ignore it. Don't bother pinning it at the moment because it might muck you up. And then we start sewing there, and hopefully you can see this all right now. Now the dark blue does not go all the way to the end. It's not supposed to. Get your ends together. Now when you come to your first clip, or put a pin there if you want. Carry on sewing. Same with the second. And at this stage, let's just have a little pull on here because it was twisted. Make sure that you don't want to sew this middle bit down. So that's pulled it a bit. Put your fabric back down on it. And it looks so awkward, but it's right. Go to your pin. Remove it so you don't sew over it. Go to your inner, sew that down on the top of it, hold it down and stitch. Only do 1 inch to 2 inches at a time because you want to check that you're not sewing in bits that shouldn't be sewn in. But now I've got it all levelled out, I can go all the way to the end. Oh, and it doesn't help when your bobbin runs out. I'll do that again. But that is how it is at the moment. I'm going to press my seams and empty it out and then just trim it all down. Then I'm going to put something around it. Got a sneeze coming there. I have actually sewn it together and put a small thin binding around it. When I'd sewn it together before I put this binding on, I trimmed it all down so it was a 12-inch square exactly. I cut a 1-inch strip and sewed it top, bottom and then the sides as well. I've then trimmed this bit down to 1/2 inch so that when I sew the outer bit on, it's actually going to be 1/4 inch, just a nice little sliver all the way around to break it up. But you know me, I don't do things in ones, so I did another one more or less exactly the same, apart from I put bits in there and made it into 5.5-inch squares, which I then did exactly the same as I did on this one. So now what we need to do is cut out some from the end of it, some wadding batting, a 6-inch piece. If you were putting an embroidery centre to it, you would cut that embroidery down to 6 inches, but I am doing on here some of this fabric that has got quite a few patterns on it. So I'm going to fussy cut out 2 patterns, 6-inch squares, and then I'll come back to you. I've fussy cut out the bit that I wanted. The only thing is I should have cut it that way, but I didn't. Never mind, it's there. If anyone's like me, I actually have my cushions on a point, so actually the picture would be right for me. Well, we don't need this yet, so we've put it aside. What I'm going to do now is, so what I've used on this one as a background colour, a strip to the top, strip to the bottom, trim down, strip to one side and then the other, trim it all up, and then it'll be ready for starting to quilt. I'm going to have to do a bit of jiggery pokery as I don't have enough of this fabric left to do a board around the outside, and I don't have enough of this blue left to do a board around the outside, so I can join the two. But I'll come back to you when I have done. Cushion covers are ready now to be quilted up, so you don't have to put backing piece on, but I just think it's nice. And then you want a piece of your wadding batting that will fit it easily, and then let's put this one on first. Looks like, and then your cushion cover itself. Make sure that it's going to fit your backing, and I always cut the backing and the batting wadding bigger anyway. And there it is, and you can spray baste it, you can put long pins in it. I have these quilters pins which I've showed you before are bent, so they're easy. You don't a couple of pins on the corners, but that's all because this is a very small project. So if you're thinking of trying out pre-motion quilting because you haven't done it before, or you've only had a couple of goes at it, these are ideal sizes because it's not going to be as overwhelming as a full-size quilt. And you could try out new designs that you haven't done before. Now you'll notice I aren't putting any in the middle yet, as I will be. Got more blue. This is where the middle is going, and so because it's several thicknesses thick, I'm just going to pin it to there. You can sew this one down by itself and then put your wadding, batting and backing on, but I prefer to do them all in one go. Makes it a bit more difficult, but hey ho. And that's now, let's put some more on, or otherwise we're going to have the backing twisting over and we'll end up stitching the backing turned over, Oh, we don't really want that. These patterns actually don't go with it too well. I'm not sure now whether to use that or not. Well, that's it. Ready for quilting up. And I'm going to have a think on this because I'm not sure about the middle bit. This is the one that I pieced a border on. So they will both match because it's the same fabric in all of them, but they just finish up slightly different, each one is. Same again as before, pinning it down so I can quilt it, and I have this one for the middle, and again I'm not sure whether I like it or not, so I think these two cushion covers are going to go on my design wall and sit there until I decide, yeah, they're okay, or no, this would go better with it. So you don't have to make things from start to finish. I actually like having several projects on the go at one time, all in different stages. So if there's one that needs quilting, one that needs some patchwork, one that needs binding, when I come into my sewing room I might not feel like quilting, so I'll just bind it, find the one that needs binding. I might not feel like binding, so I'll do patchwork on one, or I'll do cutting out, but they'll live on my design wall until I figure it out. So thank you, bye.